Welcome back to the Hideout. Whether it's a real rainy day or pretty nice out, we usually have some pretty comforting content for you. But today we're getting angry! Grab your pitchforks and torches as we go over some of the most evil RPG villains out there today at the Hideout. Number 10. Pokey Minch, Earthbound. He made his debut in Earthbound, which displays him as a cowardly yet incredibly obnoxious next-door neighbor to Ness, the protagonist of the story. Being a thorn in your side from the beginning, he gets stronger as the story progresses. At the start of the game, he asks you for help finding his little brother Picky. While this isn't bad by any means, the next encounter is much, much worse. Next time you see them, they are the priests of the Happy Happiest cult, led by Carpenter, and kidnapping Paula for a human sacrifice. After disbanding the Happiest of cults, he goes into business for Geldegard Monotoli in Forside, causing even more trouble for the heroes. When confronted, he escapes in Monotoli's helicopter and crashes in deep darkness, again disappearing for a while. Your final encounter with the most annoying neighbor in history is in a cave to the past, where he releases Gygus. After the final battle, he manages to insult the player one last time, saying, "Come and get me, loser, spankety, spankety, spankety," as he escapes through time. Number 9. Gabriel, Star Ocean, the second story. This is a scientist for the tyrannical planet Nede, who is at war against the United Galaxy. Losing the war, he created the 10 Wise Men, a group of biological superweapons. These biological weapons were meant to win the war for Nede until his daughter was killed during a protest of the 10 Wise Men. When he found out, he reprogrammed the Wise Men to eradicate all life in the universe, which he now considered imperfect and decaying. His quest is now having many more problems than anticipated, thanks to our heroes. He later makes one final wise man that takes after himself to finish his own work. After being imprisoned for 4 billion years, he escapes with all 10 wise men and a quadratic sphere and sets off to the closest planet to wreak more havoc until the heroes of the story arrive to stop him once and for all. And hey, if you're liking our top 10 lists so far, there's a lot more to come, so why not slap that subscribe button and turn on the notifications to know when the next one drops. Number 8. The White Witch, Ni no Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch. This entry does a fantastic job at making us understand why she was driven to do the horrible things that she did. She's the daughter of the Wizard King and was brought into rule at a young age due to the death of her father. The ruling council ruined her country for their own personal gains, blaming it all on the princess. After this, she tries to use a forbidden resurrection spell in order to bring her father back, but it inadvertently fails and turns all of her countrymen into monsters, so she adopted the White Witch persona to hide her sorrow behind a cool and sinister exterior. She uses magic to create illusions of her knights, her long-gone pet parrot, and the council who damned her as a teenager. Ultimately, she orchestrated the deaths of countless folk through her actions, mainly using her creation of the dark djinn, Shadar. Number 7. Queen Zeal, Chrono Trigger. This queen's tyranny withstood the test of time until Chrono and his allies showed up. She is the matriarch of 12,000 BC, and she serves as the secondary antagonist of the series. When she somehow gains a fraction of Lavo's power, she becomes dangerously obsessed with it. She begins to use it to achieve some sort of immortality with the help of her slavishly devoted yet terrified followers. Achieving her goal, while no simple feat by any standards, she still craved more power to the point her own children thought she was no longer the mother they cared for. You see the perfect example of this greed when you're trying to save the world and she confronts you in the final stand in the Black Omen to stop you so she won't lose her power. Number 6. Galleon, Lunar. Another case of good guy gone bad. Once hailed as a legendary hero and the most powerful mage in the world, Galleon's turn to the dark side began after he believed his comrade had died. Going on to assume the mantle of the Magic Emperor, he viewed himself as the only one capable of ruling, since humanity would be lost without a god to lead them. It's this viewpoint that leads him to commit acts like mass destruction and slave labor forced from the tribe. It goes without saying that he's definitely not one benevolent kind of deity. In the remakes, Galleon is somewhat less fiendish, since his aim is noble at heart, though very warped. In the remake, there are others that believe in his cause. However, this is overshadowed by the fact that he's every bit as ruthless and cruel. In the ending, even after his death, he takes pride in dying, feeling that he permanently tore Luna away from Alex. Number 5. Kefka, Final Fantasy VI. This entry is a pure psychopath that wants nothing more than to destroy the world simply because he hates everything in existence. Sounds like me on a bad day. The court mage of the Galleon Empire, Kefka was the first experimental Magitech knight, giving him the ability to use magic. However, the process was not yet perfected, causing an infusion that damaged Kefka's mind. Doing so turned him into a maniacal harlequin with an unquenchable thirst for blood. Chaotic and unpredictable in his drive to cause destruction, he eventually turned on Emperor Gestal. Seizing control of the warring triad to become the god of magic, he uses their power to attempt to destroy the known world. For many fans of the series, his clown-like appearance has led to comparisons to characters like DC's Joker. If fiction has ever taught me anything, it's don't trust fictional clowns. They are always up to no good. Number 4. Suguru Kamoshida, Persona 5. This high school gym teacher from hell is easily here for several reasons. The main one being the way he treats his students, who he abuses emotionally, physically, and suspected sexually. Going as far as pursuing a toxic relationship with Ann Takamaki, one of your partners throughout the game, you find out just how bad he actually is when you progress and see his palace where he tortures his students. While the metaverse might be a bit drastic, you also see your certain classmates with all sorts of bruises from his quote-unquote special training as well. Another reason he's part of the worst on this list is his motives are nothing but greed. Even when a student attempts to take their own life because of things he's done, he feels nothing, justifying his horrible acts because his volleyball team brings the school publicity and money. Number 3. Fou-Lu, Breath of Fire 4. One of the things that makes this entry interesting is gamers get to take control of the awoken antagonist. Being the first emperor of the Faux Empire, he takes back his throne with brutal force. After re-establishing the throne, he falls into a slumber for nearly 600 years. The first scene you see of his reawakening, he encounters 2 soldiers who boasted about the Faux Empire being able to crush even dragons. He responds by summoning an astral dragon, saying with a sadistic grin, "They art but gods," and had the 2 soldiers killed. Later on, you see him kill the 13th Emperor, Faux-Soniel. Soniel attempts to kill him using the Dragon Slayer, but he is unaffected and instantly beheads the traitor, retaking his place at the throne and awaits his missing half. After some time, he finds his other half and fuses into the Yore Dragon God. Unlike the other dragon gods, he tries to wipe out humanity after they try to leave the world in his hands. Number 2. Luca Blight, Suikoden 2. This is the Black Prince of Suikoden 2. His psychopathy originated during his childhood after he and his parents were attacked by bandits. His father, the king, fled in fear, leaving him helplessly looking on as his mother was assaulted. This even triggered a path to genocide, killing everyone in the town the bandits were hired from and wagering wars against city-states. One of the biggest examples of the extremes he went to during this murderous rampage is when he executed a woman after making her beg and act like a pig. He's one fearsome warrior and is considered one of the strongest humans in the Suikoden universe, given all he's done with no augmentations or powers. And number 1, Sephiroth, Final Fantasy VII. This final entry on the list is the one-winged angel himself. Once a super soldier created by the Shinra Electric Power Company's soldier program, he was quickly known for his success on the battlefield. That all changed when he found out the true nature of how he was made. After learning of the experiments that led to his birth, Sephiroth falls into insanity, becoming murderous, ruthless, and vengeful, yet retaining his calm and cold demeanor. He develops a messiah complex, proclaiming to be the chosen one, destined to lead the planet. Even after his physical body is destroyed, his will persists, overpowering Genova's will and gaining the ability to exert his influence through her cells, torturing the main protagonist Cloud with his past and using his new abilities to haunt him. These are our top 10 most evil RPG villains. We hope you like our entries for the best of the worst, and as always, please let us know what villain you would have liked to see on the list. See you all with another top 10 very soon. Have a comfy day!